What up? Welcome to chat. Oh. Yeah.
Wow, we have all our boys in the building over there. Danny, Steven, Sporty, Dallas D, Lady Novoa, of course.
Got Lady Novoa in the building.
We have Raj. Wow. What a
Down
sexy
south, y'all.
crowd. What a sexy crowd.
What's up, Dallas D? Welcome up. She said, "What's up, fam? Salute to sexy Lexie in the world class.
Thank
Got
you.
Sporty's in the building. What's going on, bro? Talking about now, me, Raj Will. Yeah, a couple people you mentioned. Jenny Morena.
Jenny,
Yes.
chula, yes, chulita linda.
Eviscerate the like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Anybody on the replay, hit the like button. Remember to comment when the stream is over. Make a comment down low. That helps out the algorithm. Um, Shout out to Stephen Day.
Hi, Stephen.
What's up, bro? Real quick, Stephen Day looked like a junior funeral director. I owed you back for all them twos and do's and proves. Yeah, I had to get you back. We're gonna have a great show tonight.
That's funny. How's your weekend, Noble?
It's been full of work. I'm excited. Been working my butt off. One of them weeks. Just having fun. How your week been?
My week was very nice. The temperature here in Arizona is back to normal.
Yeah.
Like what I like, at least I shouldn't say back to normal. It's just a lot easier to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed being outside and going for walks and just doing the nature thing out here. But I'm excited tonight to talk about this. This is episode number 4.
Absolutely.
So I want to open the panel up. I want to get people's questions, curiosities about any of the things we've spoken in the last couple of episodes. And I wanted to touch more on the ownership and contract. Because I think that is where, right, we talked about the collaring last week. We've spoken about the courting and the contract collaring, and now it's ownership. Now we're going live with this, So there's an aspect, I think, of ownership that also can translate into vanilla relationships. I think, people hear that word and they associate it with something maybe negative, I guess. I want to be owned, so I get very excited at the prospect of being owned, and that living in that, it's called submissive space or subspace, when you're just 24/7, 365 in submissive space. You don't have to worry about anything. So when you have ownership, or you are, what might be considered a good and obedient wife, or a obedient and loyal wife, that's a representation of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
In the vanilla lifestyle. So yes, I wanted to do that and see if people have any, curiosities or any questions. We've had some, I love it when Dirty Folks comes up, and the bell, I think his name, always asks very curious questions, and Mandrell wants to soak up everything. So
Facts.
So I just want to give people the opportunity to ask any questions, and also for us to explore ownership a little bit more.
So yeah, we've StreamYard is in the chat. It's also going to be pinned to the top when y'all enter. So you can get in here, get your questions in, some of your testimonies. Maybe you've been having some of these conversations. I think this is, fourth episode. So we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now. So you might have had some conversation with your lady, with the gentleman you with, friends. Interested in seeing what y'all been talking about, what you picked up on, any questions you may have now. But like she said, we actually had this conversation earlier on Lucky's,
Right.
which kind of prompted this Lucky's channel.
Right.
Which kind of prompted this topic. I think they still live now. And there's some misunderstanding about it, but we kind of got into a piece of it because when people talk and there's some rebuttals that come, and then you get stuck on one point and kind of stay down that lane. But it's much more open. It's much more fluid in my understanding of it. And talking to the young ladies that I've talked to, I've had my perspective. They seem to hold true when you actually ask these women in private. And you know, yeah,
Um, yeah, like sometimes some men think that they are equipped to deal with all that they're asking for. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like that
yeah,
saying, "For what you wish for,"
yeah,
and then
definitely truthful, right?
they're able to support a submissive woman, but they're not able to maintain that because they really haven't done the self work, right? The self mastery aspect of it.
Yeah,
Sometimes men, meaning males, right, don't like to accept their position or condition in life, and so I think they live a long aspect in a state of denial. Oh, with nobody telling them around them, like, yo, get your shit together, get your fat ass to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, come on, yo, that's disgusting. You're gonna be the guy on the beach who keeps his shirt on. I don't want anybody like that in my team. Hi, Savannah. Ooh, thank you. You like what I'm wearing for the fellas.
care them things. They look like they about to jump out and touch the damn chat. Hold on, look,
They look
I know I'm a YouTuber, right? But I'm still a guy. I just
they look robust. I must be ovulating.
shout out to the Great Bill.
Hi, Great Pill. How are you? It's nice to see you, sweetie. Um,
Dallas, we don't care if you can speak. You come
Dallas,
up.
come up here. You have an awesome story and experience in life, and you're married, and you
She
have.
she said her throat hurt, her hair not done. I nobody want to hear all them excuses talking about she got clear. Just get your hind parts up here, please. Thank you. You are
Yeah,
most welcome.
I love when married women come and participate, or women who are, in healthy long-term relationships. Hi, B Rose.
Hey, B
Because
Rose. Yeah, B Rose. I definitely would want you to come up. Hear what
yeah,
you because B Rose. I think she said she like. I think they said I haven't heard her say she like 24. I would love to hear her thought process on it.
and B Rose wants to have a big family, and she wants to get it going sooner
Mm,
than later. So she's has to be a young lady that qualifies to be a wife and understands what type of
right.
man she wants to attract, and she has to kind of prepare herself for that type of environment so that when she meets him, she nails it. You know what I mean? That he's like, oh, I could tell that. For me, look, a woman. I think most women would want maybe their husband to be an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? So he could run his own business. Let's just say. Then I think a woman should be like, babe, let me go take an accounting class, and I'll do the bookkeeping for our family business.
Right. Right. Teamwork. Right.
Versus she's working outside the house and under the leadership of somebody else. That shouldn't feel good. That shouldn't feel comfortable. I understand there's certain professions that women have, and the dynamic can be different. But I think if you're wanting to be a wife and you have the opportunity to be home and help your husband,
That girl's so dumb.
oh my God, are they looking like they don't look that huge to me, but I guess they're robust. Yeah. Oh, I see them. Wow, I got even a little bounce in there. Jeez, this is
Yes.
def-
Healthy.
this
You
is
look healthy.
definitely a bra top that is for decoration.
Yeah.
I didn't know that these are gonna be flight tetas all over your butt.
Yeah,
And it's midnight. I guess it's Saturday night, so
I'm a hip ass and thigh guy, but even I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, jeez, I'm a whole adult. I'm like, oh, have mercy. I wish
oh
I
my
was.
god, that's hilarious. You guys
If I
do
could,
make
if I
my
could crawl up and breastfeed, I know. I know what I'd be right now.
oh my god.
Uh,
I love boobs. I love boobs too, so um, I love boobs too. There's something about them. But
put a put
so
a put a put a one in the chat if you're a boob person. Put a two if you're a butt person. Boob or butt. Let me see. Let's put it in the
boobs.
chat.
I think when a woman doesn't have a butt, it looks weird. I will say that.
It really
So
do.
I think women, if she doesn't have a butt, she's probably gonna want a butt. But
Yeah.
but boobs, boobs make the world go round.
Yes.
But you have to have them Johns.
Like DMX.
Um,
Dallas D. Dallas D said, but
but
but Savannah with the one.
boobs. All right. Look at Jenny with the butt. Look at Sporty 1 2. I know what
See,
Sporty on to
but
something.
that wasn't an option. That wasn't an option. It wasn't
Right.
an option. You gotta pick a team.
It
See, y'all
depends
here.
on what week it is for Sporty.
Both of y'all. I like Big Jenny. You like the Big Jenny? Huh.
Booty.
Okay.
But Jenny has body, you see, like, so she's proportionate. Boobs.
There you go. There you gotta pick a side, man. You gotta pick a side over here.
I did see you, Jenny. I know. Tú tienes un cuerpazo, mujer. Tú vales lo que pesa. But
Right. That's all I know how to do.
But yeah, what were we saying?
Ownership.
Oh yeah, the ownership. So I think, yeah, if any of the ladies, I don't know, they don't have to come up. They just have to show you that they are who they are, I guess. I want to hear the women talk about, if they're married or in long-term relationships or engaged, how does these things we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, how does this show up in their relationship? You know what I mean? I don't want to make it all about the BDSM. I want to hear about people's vanilla experience and how do they interact with their partner. And do they have a balance where she handles certain things and then she takes kind of the leadership role in those tasks as assigned by him? Or, is it mutually exclusive to him having the role? Do they have a balance, or do they do it like me? 24/7, 365. He controls everything. I love it.
And if there's some like couples that are into, or some viewers that may be like in the discretion, right here, but beneath is Lexie's Gmail if you want a conversation and a consultation in private. It helps you. Although we would love for y'all to come up and talk about what you can talk about on the show. So we can kind of share and have open dialogue. Just one of those.
And I understand discretion is something of value, and I respect that. But absolutely, if anyone has any questions or curiosities, they can reach out to me there. And but I think also having a couple, that has a cool dynamic, but maybe they needed to spice up their relationship a little bit, and now they can be honest about their kinks.
Right.
I think sometimes you don't need to go to the extreme of the experiences that I've had, and people who had even more extreme experiences, but you can introduce some of this fun role play into your relationship and live out some fantasies. Thank you, Savannah.
Appreciate you, Savannah.
Sorry, my nose is cold. But yes, yes, I think that ownership is hot. I think women like that, you know. I think women are attracted to power
Yeah.
and just being with a man who represents that, and that they're owned. You know, that somebody has their back and just represents them to the max. They're not in the room like just any of the other women. Um, they are consensually owned and happy about it.
So, what would you say to a young lady that's maybe hearing that for the first time? Let's just say, your average feminist, trying to deal with the concept of being with a man and having that language of "he owns me." What would you What would you say to a feminist is trying to learn? Let's make it extreme.
Okay, so if she's a feminist and she's attracted to men.
Wait a minute, I got stuff for that.
Bang, 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 bang.
We heating up now. Yes, a feminist that for some reason is attracted to men for whatever reason.
And so if she wants a male dominated home,
I respect your questions. I ain't gonna say that lie. I appreciate your questions.
She's going to have to understand that either she's going to be the dominant and it's going to be declared, and then she's going to have a submissive husband. And only submissive to her. He doesn't have to be submissive to the world, but the dynamic that'll work best for her is probably a man who is successful in life. Maybe he's a lawyer, maybe he's a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a professor, something like that. And he runs things wherever he's at. But when he comes home, he submits to her. And she runs things. And she's, they have sex and all that stuff, but she's the aggressor. She's the aggressor. He is mainly there to please her. You know what I mean? That's what he wants. He doesn't want to think about it. He wants to be used, abused. He wants to be a sex toy. And then, he might, I excel. He might, he might have some deep fantasies that he might want to play out. Like maybe.
What's going on?
Get him
I heard you say.
I didn't know if you knew this.
No, I'm just asking you what's going on.
Then
I get
you
that.
get
I
there.
don't know why you're not listening to me.
No hair.
Back up for a second. I just want to get clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what you're saying out loud, brother?
Maybe he has like a fantasy like student teacher or mommy son, and then they play that. They play into that fantasy within the dynamic of what they've agreed upon, who's the dominant, who's the submissive. It's no different. It's no different than a master and a submissive female. The only thing is that's more relatable. But even in that dynamic, the submissive, meaning me, I get to share with my master my fantasies, and he can decide if I get to live them out or not. And some of my fantasies might also include me dominating and like ravaging him, but not dominating in the aspect of how the home is ran.
Just giving normal. I don't know what that means, and I don't want you to keep going.
Would you say ravage?
Like, you know what? Like some guys, or maybe happen to you, like your girl is she's submissive, or you guys have great sex life, and then one day, like she's in heat, and she's like, babe, I'm coming home and I'm jumping you, and you're like what? And you're like, babe, I just want you. She just comes home and she's just all over you. Like she just wants to go down on you. She just wants you, and she's just like animalistic. And you're like, you know what, baby, do your thing. And you just sit back in your chair and you let her go all, you're not telling her, you're just letting her have her way. And then she gets you nice and hard, and then she just jumps on you. She starts riding you.
She get on top and she start riding, and then
right? And you
30 seconds later, when her knees get hot and she overheats, and then she got to get down. Yeah,
right,
I know
and
about that.
then it's only usually it's only maybe for a moment. You know what I mean? Because then you're gonna be turned on, so that you're gonna be like, okay, that's enough of playing your way. We're gonna finish this my way. You
Of
know.
course.
And so she had that opportunity, that little moment to just what I call like ravage you. Oh shoot, hold on, this thing, how did I?
Sydney said, "I saw that the work. What did I do? What did I do? I'm trying to understand words. That's it. What?" Stephen Day said, "I used to dream of the teacher student all the time. That scenario.
Yeah,
None of
yeah.
my teachers was attractive enough for that. Yeah, nah.
Was he the student or was he the teacher?
I would hope that he would be the student, because if he was the teacher, that would be that'd be a little pedophilia.
Well,
Pedophilia.
no, because I could have a fantasy of my masturbating.
Well, yeah, I see. Yeah, fantasy. They can be any age. I see. All right.
Right. Yeah, because you know you are able to play. It's consenting adults, so there isn't any judgment necessarily
Yeah,
to the fantasy.
but
So
it's the used to. So when he say used to, I'm thinking back in the day.
okay.
So maybe it was in his life, and then
You're right.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Wow.
But
I know Steven is he's naughty because he's flirty in the chat. He's got the girls. He has a few of them in line, really lined up. So he knows how to make it step right up. So you see, so he's comfortable. He's comfortable in that. That's a great fun fantasy. He's a student, and then she comes in and she's just like, "Did you do your homework today, Steven?" And he's like, "Oh, Miss Lexie, I didn't. I left it at home." I left it home. And she's like, "Really? Come over here, Steven. Sit on my lap." And he's like, and then she has like a whole cleavage, and he's sitting on her lap, which makes him a little bit higher. He's looking at her big old boobs, you know what I mean? And she's like, "Get closer, Steven. Rub up against Miss Lexie. You have some making up to do."
Woo!
That's fun as hell. Shoot. That's a good one, Steven. I would get into that. I would wear I would wear glasses and the whole thing. It's fun. I would get into it. I would have a little ruler and be like, And but I think then, when you play like that, eventually, so like you said, the girl or the female, then she just gets it out and then he takes over. You know what I mean? Like he's back to doming. We're done playing. Now we're gonna do it. Do what he wants. And he might flip the script. Really, really, Miss Lexie, get on all fours. And it's like, oh shit.
Read Dalllas. She said, I won't even give you a warning if I feel animalistic. Straight ripping clothes up. Dallas, what?
It's true.
It's
When you have a healthy, beautiful relationship and you're able to have great sexual chemistry and communication, then you can live out these fantasies. And as a woman, you get to be sexually promiscuous in your own relationship, and no one has to know about it. No one has to know what you like to do and how you like to do it.
right.
And that's nobody needs to know that. That's private. You're not even your girlfriends, because they're gonna hate because they're having boring missionary sex. You know what I mean? They don't have that glow and that happiness that you have, and they probably want your man. So you might want to just keep some things to yourself.
Yeah, he said to me, said he was.
Yeah.
He said he was a student. Yeah, obviously. Sporty says, no lie, Lexie first episode convinced me to purchase a beautiful knee pillow. that I thought was disrespectful. Nope, they love it and they go longer.
Yeah, look at my knee pillow, Sporty. Yes, you see.
That's worth it. That's worth a celebration.
Yes, that's a sign of loving. Yes, Sporty, that's a beautiful gift. That's very thoughtful. That's extremely thoughtful. Yeah, because now she has a comfortable pillow. So when you're watching TV, she could just be just playing. Girls want to discover boys' penises. You don't have one. You weren't even allowed to look at it. You guys get to see vagina in porn at most of the time before women know what a penis looks like. So we want to have that one-on-one time with our new best friend. And just be like, oh, what does it do? How can I touch it? It doesn't always have to be like it doesn't always have to be just the whole blow jobs and intercourse. She wants to take a look at it. She wants to become very familiar with it. So a knee pillow is perfect. I hope that makes sense.
You said a lot. I still think about it.
Yeah, that is a really fun fantasy, and I'm sure a lot of young men who have had, or a lot of men had crushes on their teachers, and probably fantasized about it, and of course now as adults they get to live that out.
Cindy says I've lost some mini shirts and tank tops. Thank God I can replace them.
Yes, the animalistic thing. Women have that. You know what I mean? Like, especially when we're ovulating, we could rub our vagina on a cactus plant and smooth that bad boy out. We want it so bad, So it's we just are addicted to the man that we're with. So that's the beauty of being in a consistent relationship, that as a woman you get more comfortable and you get more in touch with yourself and you're able to share your fantasies, so you don't apologize for your sexual DNA. Where in a kind of casual relationship, sometimes it's hard to go that deep because you don't have that connection.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go there without having a conversation, it ends up being not healthy. So,
you want to read this next?
in our younger days, we would use our work uniforms during role play sometimes. We worked for AT&T and I was a courier. Oh my God, that's sexy. That's fun as hell. Secretaries have fantasies of the UPS guy. I check out the UPS guy, quite frankly. I do. If I run an errand and I see the UPS truck, I'm checking to see if he's hot.
I seen this extremely attractive FedEx lady earlier today. I said, Jesus Christ, they was built like that. They look amazing.
Right? And you're like,
I ain't talking because I'm retired.
Imagine the fantasy. You're like sitting there in your house. You're just working on something. Your doorbell rings. This sexy woman in a UPS or FedEx outfit shows up. And she's like, I'm sorry, I spilled this on my blouse. Do you mind if I use your bathroom to clean it? And you're like, yeah, go right ahead. And she's like unbuttoning her blouse as she's walking to your bathroom to wash this shirt. And then she comes out and she's like kind of in a bra. And she's like, what are you working on? And you're like, oh my Jesus Christ, something here is about to happen. And it's about to go down. And you're like, yep, you had sex with the FedEx lady. Like, that's fun. That's really naughty.
The scenarios you come up with real fast is that for me. It make me happy. I consider a lot too. Yeah, I'd have been one that have been inclined to fuck that lady in the truck on top of the boxes. That's how good that lady look.
See? Yo, if I'm really wilding out and I see a FedEx guy who I think is hot, I know myself. I will take it to as far as I could take it. I would flirt and I would be like, yo, am I really gonna lose my mind today? Because this guy is crazy hot and he could fit a fantasy. But sometimes the other side doesn't give you the fantasy. You have to create it yourself with your person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I could be like, oh, that FedEx guy's gonna take me and ravage me, and I go for it, and he's just like, oh, I'm so nervous. And I'm like, dude, in my fantasy, you were like,
right.
Yeah. So
it's not how it went in my mind. So you got to fix it.
All right. But I could tell my master, like, I have a fantasy of a FedEx guy. He's like, oh, really? And he might go as far as going to get a FedEx shirt and, and play it out the way that I want.
That's commitment right there.
Yes. Like, you have to do like Dalllas D. If your partner is open enough to share honestly their fantasy, then the fun part is making it a reality and having no limits in how that shows up. Like, do it in a way that's over the top of the fantasy they could have ever imagined. You know what I mean? That you're just like, that you took the details and you really.
She said, yeah, he came to disconnect my phone if I didn't pay. He said, of course, I didn't have any money.
Oh my God, that's so fun. I love it, Dalllas. You see, that's how she has a marriage, she has a healthy relationship. You know, women, you have to be creative and you have to have fun too. I mean, that's fun.
Let me see. Type of 1 in the chat. Type of 1 in the chat if you've paid some bills for sex before in your life.
That's funny.
0 if you haven't. That's funny. I'm about to have that.
Funny. That's really funny.
I have. I have. This penis is it's got me by. It's definitely got me by in the past. Like, I'm saying a lot to you.
Well,
yeah,
you have to work all your resources. You have to work all your resources.
Amen. Facts. Lexie, with all the fantasy, she could definitely write an erotic novel. Facts.
Ooh, Steven. Thank you.
What's going on, KDH?
Ooh, hi, KDH. You always have great questions, too. You do.
I'm the only hoe, huh? 0, 0, 0. Someone said I'm literally on church grounds just sneaking listening to y'all at the same time. Father, forgive me.
Zone, that's funny.
Zone, you still gotta press 1 or 0. 1 if you pay some bills with dick. 0 if you haven't. I definitely have in my past.
Hi, Marcus. Hola, Marcus. ¿Cómo está, papito lindo?
Y'all better stop playing too. Y'all better stop. Jenny, I know you never did nothing wrong in life. But if you have had sex to pay for a dinner, that's a bill. So y'all might want to fix it because I know y'all did it too.
I mean, I have had sex for, like, it would be a smart move to have sex with this guy because there's benefits. Maybe he owned, let's see, the weed guy, definitely. The dispensary guy, I started up a little romance with him and I got hooked up when I went to the weed spot. So I don't know. That's terrible. But yeah, definitely I could say that. Also, I have had great lovers I've worked in hospitality. So I always have I've had a lot of crushes on my chefs, like the executive chef. So because, we have in hospitality, we have flirty relationships. I'm able to get little treats from the chef. So I've used it in that way. It wasn't an outright bill, but it was a benefit for me. And it was purely, objectification of both parties. It wasn't like we were trying to get married or anything like that. We were having fun.
I have proudly dick some women down for meals. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. The way I'm gonna hit this pussy from back here is gonna make her want to get up and cook, and then I don't gotta cook or spend my money. And then I've done that plenty of time. 18, 19, 20, 22. Yeah, it was me. So that's fine. I'll be by myself with that. Seems nobody was sporties with it. To be honest today, that's fine. To be fair, well then, before marriage, fuck that. After marriage too, Dennis. Yes. Listen, it count. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the phone bill, because you need to eat. That's your biggest bill. Well, one of your biggest bills. Taxes is the biggest bill. You know, you gotta eat. I mean, so
yes, that's
bust it open.
That's the privilege of being a woman who's kept, that your husband will always make sure you live in bountifulness and that food is always available, because that's one of the things he has to provide. And then as a woman, you take that food and make it nourishing for your family and your husband. So that's a really beautiful thing. I love cooking for my man.
Dalllas says, our best role play night was the streetwalker role. Something about familiarity, I don't know why that word is stressing me out. But being flex, oh my gosh. So y'all act like y'all know each other and just fuck next to a trash can. Like, you got to walk us through this. That's why you got to come up here. So we'll throw that out.
Hot. Like, you know, to be like, hey, how much for a good time? And she's like, $500, because obviously this is her man. He has the money, so she could say that. She's not gonna say $50. She said $500 plus tip, and then he's gonna be like, "All right, baby, come with me." Woo! And then she's there like a whole other person, and he's like takes it, and she's just there, and then she takes her $500, and the scene is over, and they take a shower, and they talk about it, and they laugh. And you know, that's a lot of fun.
Could y'all really deal with being in this situation? Well, y'all with that, and this would probably be different from the average woman, but let me just say this then. I couldn't imagine the average woman role playing like that situation and watching their husband or boyfriend fuck them different than how they normally would, because it would be something quick up against the wall or something. You know, and it'd be different strokes.
She wants that experience too. She doesn't want to be like, she doesn't want to be treated like a romantic streetwalker. She wants to be treated like, you know, within reason. She wants to be treated that way. Like for a moment, it doesn't make her that. She just gets to be that for a little bit. And she experiences it in her body differently too, just like he does.
So she'd be fine with him throwing the money at her at the end, calling her a hoe.
Yeah, the more real you make it, the better. Yeah, because she's in it too. She's not like, I want you to treat me like a streetwalker, but be nice. She's telling him, I want to be treated like a streetwalker. The familiarity is because, of course, you're with your man, so you know who he is. So there's, you know, so that helps with the comfort level. And be fucked like a stranger. Yeah. And in that moment, the consensual, they consent that they're going to completely immerse themselves in the scene. Right. And you can, you know, maybe she's gonna say, you know, don't slap me in the face or something like that. Don't throw me, you know, she might say something like that, just to be safe. But yeah, she should be as real as it is. And for him too, because in that scene, she might do things with him that as his vanilla wife, she won't do. Her body is going to experience sex differently. And it might make her more available to a different level of intimacy.
Yeah, I mean, a couple that will role play is much more open than, like you said, your vanilla one. So won't be more, you know, that inclined to, you know, to throw the attitude, catch a little. Fellas, type a 1 in the chat if a girl has asked you to slut her out. I'm gonna have to do that.
Hi, CJ. What do you mean by slut her out? Like in private, treat her like a slut?
All of them.
Or that she's like a hot wife, that he likes to see her have sex with other men.
All of them. If you ever been told that, I've been told that a lot. It's a lot. I've been told that a lot. All different. I've heard a lot of different shit.
Yeah, I think women in private want to have those moments where they're treated that way.
You would be surprised. Oh my God, you would be surprised, fellas. Like
Yeah,
who you be like you? What? Don't you go to church? Don't you go to church 3 times a week? Like, you want me to do what to you? It's not like, oh, I want to have sex outside. It's like, you really want me to choke you out from over here. Like, stuff I've heard in my life just blows my mind. Like, who says it?
You know what it is?
Shit.
You know what it is that they want to experience, Noble, is your power over her.
Yes.
She wants to completely experience your strength and your power over her. Because in general, when you deal with her, you're delicate, you touch her soft, you kiss her soft, right? You're always, being careful.
Right.
So she's like, babe, no, I want to feel your power. I want you to take over me unapologetically and use me the way you want. That there's no in this role play. It's like, oh babe, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. You're like, when we do this scene, she can't do that. She won't even dare because she feels your power. She's like, and her whole body experiences sex differently, and so does yours. And it's that she wants to experience your power. She wants you to completely devour her.
Yeah. It was
make her feel that you feel her. She wants to feel your power to the point that you demonstrate to her that you could take her life. She wants to feel that as close to that as possible. She wants you to take her as close to that as possible.
Bang, 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 bang.
She knows you're not going to let her die. So she'll let you take her as close to death, as close to the edge as possible. Yeah. Yeah. That's why she'll let you tie her up, blindfold her, suffocate her, spank her, come on her, piss on her, like spit in her mouth, like all that stuff, because that's your power over her. You own her, and you do it unapologetically, and she's there for it, and it's private, and it's nobody's business. It's private, and it's nobody's business, and it doesn't have to be like that all the time. But when it is, it's okay with you, and it's okay with her.
Stephen Day says one of my exes wanted me to choke her. I think it's while fucking her, then piss on her.
Yeah, you see, Stephen knows. Stephen, I told you I seen Stephen in the chat with some conversations. Yes, Stephen, absolutely. With some women, a lot of women would like to have that experience at least once in their life. At least once in their life. And that's why a lot of women cheat on their husbands with black men. Or men who look like the most powerful man in the world, the black man, or something like that, right? The Caribbean. It's because of the passion. You know what I mean? The passion that a lot of cultures bring into the bedroom is why a lot of pale cultures are drawn to the females and males in the diversification of brown and black, or whatever they want to label it, because we're into it. We're into it. Thank you, Sporties. We're into it.
I'm gonna try to read in Sporty's voice. As a young man in my teens, early 20s, it actually catches you off guard. Hold on. When a chick has to tell you to stop being scared and destroy I should have chosen reading that voice on her.
That's hilarious.
You eventually get it right, realizing she dead ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, you out loud though. It blows your like. Oh my gosh, I fucked up. I got to. Oh, there we go. It blows your mind. Like when you thinking like, oh, women are just this kind, loving. They want to be sweet, all of that, and then it's just none of that. It's like
No,
just disrespect me, respectfully disrespect me.
right, right. They want to experience your power and your strength. They want you to
Like
live and,
I,
and put them in different positions. And she's like, she doesn't have any choice. Like, she's like, wow, I've never seen him like this. I've never felt him like this. Like, I have no dominion over this man. Like, I can't escape him, And, like, it's like sometimes when you're with a girl and you can feel that she's trying to, close her legs because it's so much going on with the way that you're pounding her out. And you have to be like, no, you're not going to close your legs, but breathe. Just breathe through it. Don't worry, I got you. And before you know it, she's a trooper, man. She's handling it. So, so when you do take over,
mm-hmm.
In this capacity, there's a lot of talking and encouragement you do for her to, to know that she's pleasing you, she's making you happy. And it opens her up even more, and she'll dive deeper into it. She will.
The releases, it's different. It's different, y'all. I got the world class. I'm gonna be coming with the huge. Listen. All right, hey, if that's what y'all want to do, shout out to Raw and Uncut. Y'all know I got the jokes now. That's not what y'all want to do. See, here you go. Jenny, can you block Savannah? I can just block her a little bit. Dalllas, you said I told a guy once that he was too well endowed for me, but still be able to walk straight afterwards. Put your back into it.
That requires some deep breathing and a little patience, like Guns N' Roses said. Just a little patience. But if he talks to you, there's a lot of encouragement that he could do to help your body become more available to him, because he needs to break that down, and then he could manhandle you however he wants. Just takes a few words and some good lube, and a woman's body will do amazing things for a man.
Hold on, Lex. We gotta do somebody. Hold on. Poppy, if you and CJ want to get blocked, just tell me. If y'all want to get blocked, you just gotta ask me. I'll accommodate. You know what I'm saying? What's the rules? It's that for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just wanna. You only get to talk to Lexie because it's her show. That's the only reason. Or you won't be able to talk to her either. You know what I'm
saying? But what did CJ write? Did you? No, he wrote something disrespectful. What did he write?
Yeah, disrespect her righteously.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah.
That was the part that used to shock me, is the spitting thing. It's not even just in the mouth; it's in the face, on the vagina and the asshole. Is kind of that's understandable. You need some lubrication, but they want you to spit in their face. Fuck them on the floor. It's all types of shit that they come up with from watching porn. And I ain't supposed to say that word. But when you establish it, and I think that's kind of what you want to talk about too. Getting into detail, like the details that go into having ownership, and when it's like you would do with any, like if you went to a tailor and you got all your stuff form fitted, right? When you go through the details of what they like, why they like what they like, because that's the dope part about it. Why they actually like what they like. It's in this therapy in a sense too, right? Because you mentioned it. Sometimes it's from that trauma, and you get to take that power back. It's such a release for them. It's such a deeper connection for you because you understand her. And I'm gonna be biased because I only know the one direction. I don't have all that other shit. And you create a relationship where she can't worry about you giving what you give to her to somebody else, because there's no way in hell, it's so personable, it's so detailed that there's no way in hell this other woman could have what we have, because what we have is so tailored. I've been so involved in the process. So I guess that's what we can talk about right now.
Yeah, because you curate it. You curate your relationship.
That's like
And what happens is that the submissive, the master realizes that without the submissive, he wouldn't be able to dominate, right, or be a master.
Facts.
And that this submissive gives him everything he could ever want, right? Because the master goes through different subbies, and then the subbies sometimes he has to release them because they're not going to be able to last long term. But when he finds the one that is the most suitable for him, he puts time, energy, and effort into making sure that this submissive understands that you're going to be safe, you're going to be taken care of, because you deep dive into your traumas and and your fantasies, and I wasn't putting it down because I could walk straight after, and I saw it as a waste of good packaging. Oh, so she turned it down? Is that what she's saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, that's some of them are intimidating. That it's like, listen, I need to go home and think about this, because I don't know. I feel like I need another woman in here. Like, am I supposed to handle this by myself? That's a lot. But yeah, it definitely brings your relationship so much deeper and closer, because you don't need a therapist in this dynamic. Savannah, it's Saturday night. I wonder what the condition of the moon is. Everyone is in rare form. But yes, what happens is you don't need a therapist. You deal with this. You deal with your whole life experience.
Yes, so.
Packing, but the delivery was trash. Oh my God, Savannah, you are funny as hell. That is funny. He was packing with the delivery. Oh man, some people are just tools. They just tools. Like they got it going on, but they have no substance. But yes, when you go through these experiences, Noble, it brings you so much closer together, because the things that you share are not things that you could share with other people. Like,
yeah.
You know, if you have a fantasy where you want to be like treated like a little 5-year-old girl in a sexual experience with your partner, and he's, and you're really playing into that, and so is he, that you can't talk to everybody, but people have all kinds of experiences. People are into role play of inappropriate sexual ages, or different things. Like, people are into food, some people are into wax, some people are into torture play, like clips on their nipples and clips on their penises, and that's how they get off. And imagine when you find that, you don't want to, you hold it sacred, you don't just let it go.
Facts. Yeah. The clips on the penises, that they'd be off real good. I wasn't expecting that to come up. How about this? This is something that kind of had a little bit of initiation in one time, kind of, but not like I've seen in adult films. What's your experience with bondage?
Okay, so how extreme of the bondage you talking about? Like, for
I don't
me,
even know. Yeah.
I like to be tied in my wrists and hooked onto like a meat hook. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you go and you have one of those big hooks that you could hang a animal from, and so my feet are kind of touching the floor, kind of dangling. So my hands are tied and I'm hanging from something. And my body is just kind of free floating. my tippy toes could touch the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm blindfolded. I like being blindfolded. And then he's just like using my body while I'm standing, and he could turn me around and he could do what I want, and I'm restricted and I'm hanging from a hook. So
I like this.
yeah. So
Sounds great.
and I like that. That comes from a fantasy from that show True Blood for me. I like True Blood. I like vampire role play. So I like to feel that power and that just like that takeover.
Mm-hmm.
So in the show True Blood, there was a scene where a vampire was having sex with this woman. He turned into a vampire. But when they started having sex, before he turned into a vampire, turned her into a vampire, he tied her up and she was like, oh my God, this is so hot. And he took her and put her on that hook and she's like, oh my God, you're so kinky. And then the next thing you know, he's freaking sucking her neck, turning her into a vampire. And then she's behaving like a vampire and they start having this amazing animalistic sex. So I like that. That's where that fantasy comes from. So that's one of my bondage experiences I've had. My ex used to have a wheel, like that. Like when you go to the circus or something, they throw knives and you have one of those. So I would be up on this thing, like all spread out and blindfolded, like because I like to be blindfolded, and I like my ears, like I like canceling sound ear.
Right. Noise cancellation. Right.
Yeah, that I like that. And he would spin the wheel to have access to my body in different ways that are, different than lying down and doggy style. So he would, secure me up on there, and I would be. Obviously, I can't move, and I've been when I've been punished, I've been restricted with handcuffs that are like 4 handcuffs, to go to your hands and to go to your feet, and your ankles and your wrists are kind of close together. So it's kind of hog tied a little bit, but without the rope.
Yeah. Super.
Right. So that is another way that I've been, I guess, put in bondage. I don't know if that answers your questions, but yeah, that's the ways that I've been used that way, and I've enjoyed it in that way.
So I've seen it.
Getting tied up is very scary. It is. I'm not gonna say that it's not. It's not like I'm not there like, oh yeah, tie me up. I'm like breathing and I'm freaking out and I'm having to, I have these moments where I'm like, oh my God, I can't move my hands, and I have to remind myself I'm with my master. Everything is safe. Everything's gonna be all right, because I'm still working through that. You know what I mean? It's a fantasy, but I'm working through it in the fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I get like I get kind of like claustrophobic. I start to feel like that feeling that a panic attack, and I have to calm myself down, and your master's there to talk you through it. And then you get you get control of yourself, right? You get control of yourself, and you start to allow yourself to enjoy the experience.
That's what he says.
That's funny.
He said I was picturing slavery when she talked, all while thinking of Rocky training in the meat locker. He said, I'm drawing. Bro, your imagination is wild.
That's hilarious.
Lady Navoa said, don't tie me up. Nope.
Yeah, it takes me a little bit of time to get there, but I like it, and I know that I get off on it. But the process, with when I'm with a master, I've never let anybody in my vanilla life tie me up. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Thanks.
I would tie them up before they tie me up.
D says, wait, everybody doesn't have restraints.
Yeah,
I've never had any.
You can put it under your mattress. They sell them, and you tuck it'll tuck into the corners, the four corners, and then it lives under your mattress. When you play, you pull it out, and it limits the movement from one side to the other, and it's going under your mattress. It's a comfortable toy to use, and also the sex pillow is another great toy to use when you're using restraints to be able to manipulate the body of your submissive by putting them on the sex pillow.
What he says, Lexie like that sensory sexual shit.
Yeah, I like that. I like my senses to be played with. I do.
Ron Uncut says she freaky.
I don't know if I'm that freaky. I don't know if I'm that freaky, but I love to be blindfolded and played with my hearing. My sight and my hearing turns me on.
Well, David was in the he was in the live stream with Lucky. Appreciate you coming through, bro. He said, "What are your favorite safe words, Miss Maxwell?"
Well, Mr. David Webb, I do not have safe words. We have a contractual agreement where everything is detailed out, including the fact that there shall be no safe words. So that's not an option. So because that's not an option, what happens is your communication is even more important so that your master knows your hard limits and your soft limits and vice versa. And you also discuss what it is you're trying to get out of the session. Maybe a session or training in giving oral to my master in a way that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to reinforce that. So we'll have training enforcing that, so it gets me to the degree that he wants. So there's no safe word, because if there's a safe word, then there's an out. And if there's an out, then to me, we're not really doing this in real life.
Mm-hmm. The Liberator.
What do you mean, Jenny?
Yeah, what is this? It's like a name of a movie.
I feel like, I know, right? I'm like, who is he? Is he a fool?
It sounds like an incredible porn. Like you just Dalllas says all senses. Hey.
Yeah. I
ears,
like
eyes.
I like hot wax on me. I like ice. I like feathers. I like hot cold. I don't like electricity, but I like being pinched, and I like a crop used.
Like a what?
A crop, like used for a horse.
I didn't know that was called that.
Yeah, it's called a crop.
I know what it is now. They got like the little leather piece at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. Cropped.
Oh, the Liberator is the sex pillow. That's what Jenny is saying. Yes.
Oh.
Right. Thank you, mommy. That's right. KDH, don't they have like sex parties for BD? Yeah, I belong to a club. It's called the Inner Sanctum, and I've been a member there since 2013, KDH. So yes, there are BDSM communities that you can join and have safe play with people who share a similar mentality or a similar belief system. So yeah, you could be around those of like-mindedness.
David Webb said, "I'm out."
The gag ball, I've had that used on me. I don't like it too much because I get a little anxious in place, so I have a lot of breathing process to do to get to like comfortable, because I'm in my head and I have to calm down. So I don't like too much restrictions on my mouth, but I have had it used as a disciplinary tool.
So you'll use the mouth muscle while you're getting spanked?
I've had it used for that because I'm making noise.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had to use it as a consistent toy in our regular play. Like the crop and the flogger and the belt are consistent. The nipple clips, I can't handle those anymore, but when I was younger I could. Now my nipples are way too sensitive. I can't do it. But I like to feel hot wax, on my body, and I like to feel ice
Yeah.
And so I like those type of sensations. I I am all about the man. I love penis and I love the man. However, I've played with women. When I play with women, I'm a pillow queen. I don't I don't get with women to bring them pleasure unless I'm using a strap on. Then I dominate her and use her the way that women should be used. I don't treat them gently when I'm
Bang,
doing
bang, 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 bang.
so.
Sporty says, ladies love that wax. Keep that on
Oh
deck.
yeah, I love it. I think
So,
it's fun. You put it like a little dribble and you feel that heat and then you blow on it. Oh my God, it's so hot. And then it just peels off. And then you test it a little closer over here. And then you test it a little closer and before you know it, you have it on her nipple. And then you just test it and you bring it like it's hot as hell. Especially if you dribble a little bit on her anus. You have her booty cheeks and you dribble that hot wax in there. Yeah, she's gonna wiggle. She's gonna rock. She's gonna roll.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, and I don't want you to keep going.
Colin,
What's going on?
Get him
I heard
off
what you
the
said.
line.
I
I didn't know if you knew this.
No, I'm just asking you what's going on.
Then
I get
you
that.
get
I
there.
don't know why you're not listening to me.
No hair.
Back up for a second. I just want to get clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what you're saying out loud, brother?
did you just say drop the hot wax on the asshole? That's what you said?
Yeah, the booty hole. And then you blow on it. He drops the hot wax and then it hits her. She's like, oh, and then you blow on it.
and then you blow on it. It's hilarious. I wasn't ready. Woo, hold up. So y'all take the hot wax on your nipples. It's already sensitive.
It's sensitive, man, and you have to be there to blow on it or with a piece of ice. Yeah. Yeah, you do that, that different sensations on the body, a feather and then like a exfoliating mitt, and you're blindfolded and your senses are limited as far as your hearing, and you're just feeling all these different things on your body, and you're like, you don't know what's coming next, you don't know what they are, but like you're looking forward to the next feeling, and you can't see, so you don't know.
Right.
You feel something and you can't hear. You can't hear anything. So it's just something touching your leg. And before you know what it is, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that feels hot. And you're like, oh my God, that's wax, because your senses are being played with, and so your nerve ending. When you cut off your eye or your vision and your hearing, you have to experience the world differently. So I bring that into my playing.
Yeah, I did. You're absolutely correct. I did hear it loud and clear, especially when you all your senses is all clogged up like that, and all tied up and plugged, and you're in the survival mode, and everything is just much more. I've done the hot wax thing before. Wasn't a fan. It didn't burn me or nothing, but I just wasn't a fan. The girl I was doing it with, she loved it. So
Yeah.
she loved it. She loved it. I was super in love with it. David said, can you speak on emotionally balanced? I guess being emotionally balanced. Should a woman be secure in her femininity in order to be comfortable to explore her sexuality? I'm not perfectly sure what he means.
Okay, I'm not, David, I'm going to try and answer this. Can you speak emotionally balanced to women? When a woman enters into like a master submissive dynamic, he is well aware that, obviously she's into this lifestyle probably because she has some trauma. So, it's also like how well can her demons play with his demons, right? If she's not coachable and she hasn't done some work on her own, he might see her like, you're not ready to be taken on, but I can guide you, I can mentor you, I can give you books to read, exercises to do, so that you could be emotionally available for what it is you want to sign up for. So there's that part of it as far as her mentals being right. But I think that a woman doesn't necessarily have to be completely feminine to be able to identify her sexual prowess. There's some women who are feminine dominant, and they want to have control in the bedroom all the time, and they have submissive alpha husbands that let them have that control in the bedroom. I think somebody asked a question about lifetime contracts with an option to be released. KDH.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So there's always the original contract, and then there's addendums to the contract. So there's the original contract, and then addendum 1 usually goes to the master. Addendum 2 goes to the submissive or the slave. And then addendum 3 and so forth will be additions or changes made, in the original agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always an option. Because when and if you're going to be released, your master wants to make sure you have the resources you need, and that he guarantees you're going to be okay if you if that day comes. So all those details are in the contract. Yeah. You dropped that wax. Oh my gosh. He's going to be like, oh wow. And it's going to be like, it's good. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Y'all kinky tonight. I see. She should always be. Dalllas says she should always be comfortable exploring her sexuality with him, just not with any man and every man. Facts.
Right. Yeah, a woman's sexual liberation should come within her own marriage, or committed relationship. It's not for the world to know about or for the world to experience. Unless in BDSM we go to parties and people who are exhibitionists do their thing, and people who are voyeurs, we watch. So we do have an environment that caters to that aspect of our perversions, but we don't behave this way in front of the rest of the world. It's inappropriate.
Facts.
You're welcome, David.
Yes, please support the channel by supporting Lucky, supporting Savannah.
Everybody confuses Lucky and my name. I love it.
Yes, Lexie. I said Lucky. Y'all had that since that show y'all had been messing my brain up.
Is that Lexie and Lucky is like peanut butter and jelly. We belong together.
Facts. Yeah, it was on the show earlier today. Please support Lexie. You see the Cash App right there in the screen. You see it running at the bottom. For all this information again, let me go right back to it. If you want to do a private consultation with Lucky or with Lexie, name was right there and I'm messing it up. It's her Gmail. Please, hit her up if you more discreet. You're a couple, married couple, spike stuff up. Talk to the expert. I want to talk about this though. Listen, okay. I am super pro. Like I'm pro ownership. And we were talking on Lexie channel about the this partnership shit, and I'm not with it. Absolutely not. It's just too many examples why that doesn't work. It's too many things within that you can point out, principally speaking, as to why it doesn't work. But here's the thing with me, is that I want to take 100% responsibility for everything. Not into partnership. I've already said it. I'm into ownership. I want to take full ownership over what's going on. That includes her. What happens right and what happens wrong. It's both my fault. If I'm going to have to be the one that gets the blame when it's done, then I need the entirety of the control that comes with that.
Right.
And as Lexie has said in episodes 1 through 3, the details that you go into, you're dealing with you're submissive is really where you make your hay. It's like a soul exfoliation type of thing, right? You're taking off layers, you're going through layers, and there's at that point is an investment even within the conversation for her, to where she has a reason to be here. You know what I mean? She has a reason to want to be a part of the conversation. And in a sense, we say she needs to know her place. That's a place of ownership for her. She knows her place. This is my spot. That's being created for me. Like all the other females in nature, all the other females in nature watch the male, create an environment, a safe environment for her to be able to grow her family and live her life. So why not you? So within that ownership is what I always talk about is you're going to be heard, you're going to be acknowledged, you're going to be appreciated. If I'm doing my job, I'm taking care of the responsibilities, I'm moving like I'm supposed to be, I'm being disciplined. I don't know why people forgetting that part. You have to be a disciplined human being to take ownership, high on responsibility, and our environment got to reflect that. It's a lot of things we can get into the mindset thing, but that structure is what's missing in our culture, especially amongst what y'all call FBA or what I call indigenous, autochthonous Americans. We don't have these conversations. And like I was saying to them earlier, everybody is always talking about how these females are not, they don't listen, they're violent. And I'm telling you, it's because she is in a dominant and submissive relationship with another chick, or white supremacy, however you want to call it. But she's not with you. And that's why she's not with you. You know what I mean? Y'all don't have that type of relationship. You're not willing to realize that what you calling the kink is really, really her. Like a lot of these chicks are into masochism. You see it with the hair, you see it with the outfits. They like to be hurt. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you. They want to, but that's how it look on the outside. But like Lexie says within this same episode is they want to feel your power. They want to see you be dominant. The so-called white man is doing the best he can to do it, and you're not. So at least had these conversations. Stay in fucking ownership. To the women, I always tell you this: stay in the right. Don't come down here with me. Stay in the right. Stay over there in the right. You don't have to tick for tat with me, and we can eliminate this stupid tick for tat shit that we've been doing. It's childish. It doesn't get anybody anywhere. It's going to be on the man at the end of the day, giving full power, full control, and you as a woman stay in the right. So when your man or your master is tripping, then men like me can come hold him accountable. And that's not something that he wants. I promise you.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's it's very interesting because some men want ownership, but the best that they can provide is partnership, because
Right.
because the woman isn't able to fully rest in her femininity. She has to be exposed out there to other people. And that's the last thing any master wants. He wants to keep his property under his supervision, doing things for him, serving him. He's very, the master is aware of his ego and he knows how to serve the ego. He's not like out there like a nuclear bomb with his ego, like some men who don't know how to serve their ego. So some of the things, yeah, look, I have him tongue tied. I know Noble has too many noble girls. It's a nice little crew he has.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Deny all these claims.
But
not true.
All the girls love you, Noble. You have them all, so you're gonna get tongue tied with all of our names. We come to you for cover from these psychos.
Wow.
That we encounter occasionally. Yeah, there's a lot of psychos on these streets. A lot of men who want ownership, but they are only capable of providing partnership. Where the woman still has to provide or contribute because he cannot sustain it. And honestly, like most of the time a husband should see his wife's career as her hobby. If she's in corporate America, she's that dynamic might be different. That conversation might be different. I don't know, if she's a medical assistant, but at the end of the day, he needs to be able, God forbid something happens to her, to keep that household running, So if he cannot offer that level of ownership, and what he offers is partnership, then she's going to have some say. At least she might be obedient, like what, 70% of the time, like that percentage that Lucky shared, that it was like 70-30. I guess she paid 30 and he paid 70. But she's not gonna respect you. I think the knee pillows, we're gonna have to make our own. I don't know. The ladies might be able to say, the ladies might be able to share their perspective, but I think it's really difficult to the noble Lutz. That's funny. Oh my God, that's really funny.
He had control.
He's some good ones.
He had control.
I don't know, Noble. Maybe you could. I mean, like, I think a man has to be able to sustain his household, even if his lady, God forbid, loses her job. It doesn't. Like, he has to be able to hold it down until she finds another job or something like that. Because she can't live with the idea that I have to contribute. He depends on me to contribute. That doesn't sound like an ownership.
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't sound like an ownership. So I don't know. I think he needs to be able to sustain the household the way that he could sustain himself, not dependent upon what she brings in.
Yeah. Not that he's dependent on her if he's trusted her to do things that he asked her to do within his organization and business and system, at least that day, but not her income because she helping taking care of him. No, I don't.
Yeah, then that right there is going to create a communication lag, because the roles aren't clearly defined, and the woman is not fully resting in this state of peace. She has to go out there and respect somebody else because her family depends on her paycheck. So, she's serving somebody else, and I don't know. That doesn't sound like a healthy thing. But I don't know how people work that out. Yes, Lady Novoa, I am single. I don't know how that works out, honestly, because I could only be with a man who could provide me with the lifestyle I provide for myself or better. And if not, it's not going to work. We're not, So the people that I attract most of the time are people who are in my circle, or people who, people know, introduce me to or refer me to, and they operate that way. I don't know if a woman who has to contribute to the household income, I don't know if she would fully respect her man. I don't know. I wouldn't. If I have to contribute and my money matters to him, I'm going to have a different behavior, I think. I'm 40. I'll be 46 in 2 weeks, Lady Novoa. I would have a different behavior. I think I would be a little bit extra rebellious or more bratty, Noble. Because I think like that. I would think like you're going to tell me what to do and I contribute, like,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would cross my mind. Like, why?
Right.
Because I just wouldn't see him capable, because if I want to have a family, let's say, if I, and he's like, I want to be home with my kids. I do not want kids, Lady Novoa. No, I never wanted children. That's why I never got married. I don't know. I think that's all the masters that I know. They're submissives, just work, and it's a hobby, to keep her busy. Even if she's has a whole professional job, he doesn't depend on it. If he wants to travel and her job gets in the way, he's gonna tell her she's gonna have to quit her job.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I don't care if you're trying to make partners at your law firm. Your job is in the way of what I like to do. And she's gonna have to make sacrifice if she wants to be with him. But I don't know. I think it's something that needs to really be talked about. And women need to be honest. If finances matter to you and you can't be submissive to a man because he doesn't earn what you would like him to earn, you need to be honest with yourself. And if that's the kind of man that you want, somebody that can provide to that level, you need to be everything that he wants, so that he wants to do that for you. It's not on your terms. It's all on his terms. So, that's what I think. But I think if the plan is to grow something, maybe to grow something, and it has deadlines as to how long she's working, and those are put into play. I think that makes sense and that could work. That there's an exit or a retirement date for her, so she could be available to serve him, 24/7 the way he wants. Most masters want that. Most masters want their slaves or submissives to be home under their watch,
right,
all the time. They're not trying to give that submissive free time or at ease time. No. He wants,
idle hands do the devil work. That's what we say. And a lot of your week need to be scheduled out already. Stuff to do, shit to do. You know what I'm saying? And again, the communication, making sure she is on track to do what she want to get out of the situation, or what you need her to get out of the situation. It's always room for that. You know what I mean? It's always room to have a conversation about what do you want to get done, or what I got for you to get done, and those things, and what type of stuff that you like, why you like it. It's too much stuff to talk about for her to not have something to do, man. It just doesn't make any sense. So
right.
Y'all here not working for another guy, but she is working here. You know what I'm saying? You need to make sure that stuff that need to get mailed off, that certain places is called, and it's a lot of shit to do. You know what I mean? And especially if it's for your company.
Especially like if he's a powerful man and she's going to school for law or something, but a lot of women who go to that level of professional endeavors, and they have the need to be submissive. They don't want to be in control all the time because they have so much control in their life. They're lawyers, you know what I mean? They're doctors, or they're professors, or they run, they're CEOs. When they come home, they don't want to run the show. They want their husband to, they want to be, thank you, KDH. I appreciate that. Thank you. They want to have that opportunity to be completely feminine. They don't want to come home and also freaking run the show there. So a master, if he has that type of submissive, he's going to set her up for success. You know what I mean? He's going to have the connections. He's going to know where he wants her to, what the moves are, what are the power moves. And that's, and she takes his advice.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He'll make sure that she reaches her goal. If that's the agreement, he's going to make sure that she's studying and passing and doing what she's supposed to.
All right, we got Raw and Uncut in the building. What's going on, bro? What's this? Can't really see.
What's going on?
What's up,
How y'all doing? How y'all doing tonight?
Awesome.
Doing well. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. I'm enjoying the conversation. I just got a few questions. Hopefully y'all can hear me real well. So
we got you. We can hear you clear. I can.
Okay. Now, when it comes to I'm just gonna speak on marriage because I've been married for 7 years. So,
congratulations.
It where like how
you were doing good. Now I'm starting to. You were doing good. Now you started breaking up.
Can, what about now?
That's way better.
Yo, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's perfect. Can you hear us?
I probably have to come. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes. You might have got a call.
Okay. Good. Cause I'm on the road right now. I'm just driving and stuff. So, But as far as like marriage, I know there's a lot of in these spaces. I hear a lot about like the women. I don't know. They want to say they don't have no say so, or is it something like they don't have an input? Like what it is? I just want to know. I just want to know what it is. I really don't, cause I've been married 7 years, and I don't look at my marriage as a partnership, cause I pay all the significant bills. I am a provider, protector, but my wife does work. She don't have to, but she does, and she contribute what she want to contribute. It doesn't matter, but at the same time, I do feel like my wife has somewhat of a say so in the household.
Right.
So I just want to know.
Well, the domain of the home is really where she gets to exercise under your watch and with your permission, her dominance, right? That maybe you let her decorate however she wants, but you tell her, but I don't want any red, purple, or green walls. You know what I mean? I want to approve the paint. When it comes to certain things in the house, you let her have the liberty of it. Maybe you don't care about the menu, so she could cook whatever she wants for you every day. So in the home, she does have the domain of the home and the children, but with your program, with your paradigm in place. She doesn't do anything new or introduce anything new unless she gets your permission. So it might be like a Wednesday and the kids are driving her crazy and she wants to take them to the movies, and she knows, what, it's probably better if I ask him. And then she calls you up and she's like, babe, I want to take the kids to the movies. They're driving me crazy. And then you're like, well, don't, let's say you have 2 kids. Well, our son has to stay home because he didn't do a chore. You know what I mean? And that's the rule. And so your son doesn't get to go to the movies because he didn't do a chore. And that kind of thing, only you would hold your son accountable to. She knows he got in trouble, but she's the mom. So she's not thinking of disciplining the way you are. She's like, oh, I'm going to take the kids to the movies. And you're like, yeah, that's great. But our boy, he's not going. And she's like, but why? Oh, because he didn't cut the lawn at 10 o'clock in the morning as I asked him to before he went to football practice. So it's important that you have that control, because if not, your wife is going to make decision upon your children, especially your son, that she isn't in a position to make. That those are terms and things that you deal with the father with, especially if you're changing the routine for the kids and you're rewarding the kids with something like going to the movies. She's not saying I'm taking them to the museum to learn to do science, or I'm taking them to the library to pick out a book. She's like, I'm taking them to do something fun. And you're like, well, I'm happy you called me because our son isn't doing anything fun for the next 10 days. So there's those things are all set up in the conversations, and like for me, it's in the contract. The level of control and the level of power you allow her. Is the only way she has power is because you distribute the power, and you give her access to some power. You give her access.
So like you saying, it's like I didn't mean to cut you off. So what you saying is like I can delegate her certain things to do, and that's just how it's supposed to be.
Yes. Anything outside of that, she has to consult with you.
But you can't start delegating without a full plan.
Yeah.
Say that again, word clock.
You can't start delegating shit without a full plan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Okay,
telling her
okay.
stuff just because you go, yeah, I'm supposed to be telling you stuff. You can't just you can't do that. You got to have an actual goal and something that's respectful to her.
Right. Like as a couple, you should treat it like a company. You have a mission statement. You have a company training manual. You have training sessions. You have moments that you reward the good behavior. Moments when you punish the bad behavior. You have reinforcement training if you need it, and you could put all that into a document that she could read, that you could say to her, listen, I need you to read how to make my coffee and my sandwiches again, because you're cutting the tomatoes too thick. And I taught you how to cut my tomatoes. And if maybe she's distracted, maybe she has too much going on, but she should be able to make your sandwich the way that you like. You shouldn't have to, say something, but you're not going to be like, what's wrong, with you? You're going to be like, what the hell's going on? Is she overwhelmed? Why is she messing up my tomatoes? Like, does she need to be retrained? And then you just take it seriously, because she's there to worship you, right? A man is to be worshipped and the woman is to be desired. So she's there to please you and worship you and facilitate your life, so you can go out and work and earn and protect and provide. And then when you come home, you know exactly what to expect when you walk through that door. You have a happy, enthusiastic, obedient, and loyal wife. You have your sandwich the way you want. Your kids have showered and they're waiting for you eagerly to show you their report card, or watch a movie with dad, because he says tonight we're watching a movie with him. You can stay up late because he's been on the road working. And you get your family excited about your unit. And they have a sense of responsibility, because when you have that, raw and uncut, your family doesn't want to disappoint you. They live to please you. They live for your validation. And then your children look for you as you're older. That's when if you have a daughter and she can't wait for you to walk down the aisle. And it's really because you were there for her and you guided her, not because like my mom and my dad were never together and now I'm going to get married and I want my dad to walk me down the aisle, even though I don't even have the bond or the true significance of that connection. But because, you're a father that's dedicated and devoted, your children will celebrate you any moment that they can as they get older. They'll talk about you highly to their friends. They'll be like, oh, I can't wait to go see my parents for Christmas. When other kids are like, yo, I can't stand my parents. I don't want to be around them. But it's because from the young age, you were nurturing your family, nurturing your wife, and really being there for your kids, disciplining them and rewarding their good behavior.
Right. So let me ask you this. I want to ask both of y'all this. You in world class. So I know in this space, I hear a lot about, the income. It got to be a certain amount and this and that. Does that define the your role as a man just by the money that he makes, or is it something else?
Do you want to answer first, Noble, or do you want me to? Go ahead, Noble. You're on mute. You're on mute, sweetie.
My bad. Appreciate it. Thank you, Lexie. It has more to do with the way you manage it. You know what I'm saying? How you manage your resources, how you manage your time. But you want to be in correspondence with what's going on, in today's time, not just to keep up with the Joneses or to be a consumer, but security costs and food costs. So these things are increasing. So the answer is no. Money doesn't make the man, but at the end of the day, we live in a time where we have to adapt, and making more money and actually being more intelligent with our money is what's important. So women want to see, and other men that are respectable want to see you manage yourself and your resources at a high level. So it's more about the resource management and or the mastery, self mastery. That's what's more important. Because there's a lot of stupid niggas that make 200,000
Right.
or a million.
And Ron and Cut, like a lot of times men who have this way of running their homes, they have ambitions. You know what I mean? They're not they're not complacent. It's never going to be enough. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement, and you expect that from your wife, and you expect that from your kids, and you expect that from yourself. So you might be like, you know what, babe, I'm working this job, you're working this job. Our goal is to open up a sandwich shop, let's just say. So you both are working towards the goal and the vision that you set and the plan. And as soon as, the resources are there for you guys to open your sandwich shop, guess what? Now your lady works for you at your family business. She does the accounting. So you send her to an accounting program to learn at the community college. So she knows how to do the books for the business that you're going to soon open up. Because a master or a man who is this level of dominant or controlling, he wants financial freedom. He wants that. Even if he works, he still wants to have his own thing on the side. You know what I mean? Even if he works for a company, he's still going to be like, how about if I were to open up my own sandwich shop or my own detail business, or if I were to open up, whatever it might be, he wants to have something that is his own. And even if he has a job that he still keeps, but at the thing that he owns, that's where he has his family work. That's where his wife works, and that's where he'll find her. She's not working for anybody else, and she's contributing to your vision wholeheartedly. She's not under the watch and care of somebody else anymore. So the man who wants this, he's looking for that financial freedom. And part of his plan, if initially as you come together with your lady, that's not an option, but part of the plan is building towards that freedom. So it's possible to get there, and it's possible for a woman to follow your lead, but it's like Noble said, it's like, are you in charge of yourself? Are you really mastering yourself? Or are you an overly emotional man who gets into fights and your lady is constantly trying to break you out of fights? You know what I mean? That's not good for anybody. If you're a man who drinks too much and then gets out of character, a family doesn't need that. They need somebody who's predictable. You can have a drink and you can be fun, but that your family knows that you don't lose control. That you don't, even with your food, you're not fat. You keep yourself healthy. You have a balance of enjoying life and enjoying your family. You're not one of these workaholic guys that get a heart attack as soon as they retire because they didn't have how to blend their life. You worked hard. You created a business with your lady. Your family has financial freedom, and you're enjoying life on your terms. And you're also giving your lady the freedom to be sexually available to you in her own ways that are private. You know what I mean? She also gets that by being with you. You don't expect her to be like Miss Goody Goody. She has little fantasies. It might not be something outrageous, but she might be like, oh, babe, I want you to be my teacher and I'm the student. And you're like, damn, baby, okay. We could play some, you're a good wife. You take care of us when we have intimate times. I want to curate it to the things that we like. So, and you have a beautiful balance as a couple. You know how you could work together, you could build together, and even sexually you remain compatible because you dialogue about what you want as you grow in your marriage. Because the desires might change. The fantasies might change as you get more comfortable with somebody. And you should be able to explore that in a safe environment as well. And you demonstrate this to your kids. Your kids see how you fight. You fight in a healthy way. You disagree in a healthy way. Nothing is perfect, but it's not disrespectful. It's not disparaging, and it's not at the expense of the man. A lot of women do that. They make jokes at the expense of the man, and that's disgusting to me.
Right. Well, I agree with both of y'all on what y'all said, because just being in this space, and I know everybody, they run their house different, and I know people get on the internet, man, and they say a lot of cap and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it don't make sense to me sometimes or some of the things that they say. You know what I'm saying? I be like, that just can't be life. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll get on here and they'll be like, well, my wife, I tell my wife whatever I want to tell her. I do what I want to do. Like, I don't think it's like they trying to make it seem like they wife is just in the house all day waiting on their command. They quiet. They ain't saying shit. No matter if the house about to burn down, like they wife ain't saying shit. Like I know that ain't like. I know that ain't right.
You know, those guys who are wannabes, you know what their wives are doing? Their wives are cheating on them. Their wives are, yeah. Those guys that are they're wannabes. Their wives
Bang,
are
bang, 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 bang.
their wives are out there looking for a real man to control her unbridled ass, because her husband is a wimp and he's puny, and she does whatever she wants with him, and he thinks he's in control. He's bamboozled. And then he comes in a space like this to talk to gentlemen like you and Noble and other guys who really are about this life. And he thinks that you guys are all speaking the same language, and you all are looking at him like, nah, buddy, I don't know how much pussy you really do get, because that's not that's not the way women are dealt with at all. Like, oh no, that's the way I run my house. And it's like, yeah, your wife is cheating on you. You know what I mean? That doesn't work. Like, come on, guy. A woman, I'm a sassy. I could be bratty, raw uncut. You know, I obviously, you know, but I'm not disrespectful. But I'm not gonna be there like, oh yes, whatever you say. I'm gonna be like sometimes a little rebellious, and it's not disrespectful. But I am consenting to submitting. I'm not coerced into submitting. I am not submitting because I am desperate. I am making a conscious decision to submit to you. And I am prideful in that. And it shows up in a certain way. And when men who really have this in their life, when you guys get together and you dialogue, your cadence is the same, your energy, your temperament. You know what I mean? You guys are able to have conversations, and the way your ladies conduct themselves around people shows that you have control of what's in your household. But then when a fraudulent character comes in, imagine if it sounds weird to you guys, imagine how it sounds to the women. That I'm like, Noble, can you explain what he's saying to me? Because I don't think he knows. And I don't know how he could have ended up with any woman with that limited capacity of thinking. So, yeah, there's a lot of wannabes. Oh, listen to Steven. He wants me to be his teacher. Oh, my God. Yes, David, I am a submissive. I am a naturally submissive woman. Sorry, I saw your question before, but I forgot to answer it. My apologies. I am naturally submissive with my man, but I have been dominant over women and submissive or slave men. But the man that I want and I'm with, I would be his submissive, and he would be my master. That's when I am. Thank you so much, Nurse Fancy. When I'm under the leadership of a man is when I am the best version of myself. When I'm not, I am lost.
Yeah, thank you, Nurse Fancy. Appreciate you. Go ahead, bro.
So like, cause I ain't really into the dominatrix type of stuff. I ain't into that. I ain't letting nobody tie me up and none of that shit. But I'm just saying, like, when a man does go through that and he let that woman dominate him, does that put like a perspective in her mind when it's dealing with things outside the bedroom, or is that just something in the bedroom that you can differentiate between the two?
Well, yeah, there are dynamics where people, like people who appear vanilla, right? Like when I go out with my master, we appear vanilla. And then there's other couples that appear vanilla. You would never know that in the bedroom, she's the aggressor. That's how he likes it. She doesn't have control over anything else. Like the household, like most submissive get to have that privilege. And then, but in the bedroom, he prefers for her to be dominant. But in life, he's alpha. He's running things. You would never, you most of the time wouldn't even think that this guy lets his wife, do whatever she wants with him. You'd be surprised to hear that. Because they appear to have the same dynamic you and your lady do when they're out in public. that you think, oh, he runs his household. Well, he does run it, but his fantasies involve a woman dominating him in the bedroom. And that could be different. It doesn't always mean that he gets tied up unless he wants to, but it could mean that she just, goes down on him, in her manner, not, and just, she just uses her power, which doesn't compare, but she uses the power he's given her to use him the way that she wants. If he wants to be tied up, if he wants to be blindfolded, then those are things that they introduce to their play and they talk about it. But if he wants to be used in a different manner that is really illustrates that she's the dominant even outside of the bedroom, then his needs are going to be different. He's going to be like a man who she would turn into a wife. He wants her to control everything. So at home, he cooks and cleans. He does the grocery shopping. In public, he would make her plate. She wouldn't make his plate. But they agree that that's the way they want it. She wouldn't necessarily degrade him in public. That doesn't serve too much of a purpose, but she's in control. And his sexual needs are a little bit different than the guy who is usually labeled as a submissive alpha. The true submissive male, his desire is to be dominated by the woman in all respects of his life. Someone who is kind of, to me, that appears to be that way is Mark Zuckerberg. He looks like he's just submissive in every way of his life. Even when ordering a sandwich, the person at the sandwich shop could dominate him. You know what I mean? Like, he just looks like that kind of guy. He doesn't, but he's powerful and he has money, but he is not like a submissive alpha. He looks like he relies on people for leadership. He doesn't look like a leader. To me, he doesn't come across like a leader, but he has a lot of control and a lot of power, a lot of access, but he's not the leader. He needs people around him to help him, know what's the right decision to make. So he appears to be like one of those like super submissives that likes to be home and likes to be the butler or likes to be treated like a wife, versus like the guy who just wants his wife to take over and use him like her sexual toy. And she could do whatever she wants with him, versus like the man who wants a wife and he just wants to dominate the bedroom. She's just there available for him.
Right. See, I let my wife, like, when it comes to certain things, I let her take charge of it. Like, I don't want to know what you're gonna get from the grocery store. Just go get that shit. Like, I don't give a damn. You're gonna cook it. I don't give a damn about what you get. I'm gonna eat it. Like, I don't need to know. But she's gonna also come to me anyway and be like, hey, what do you want to eat, baby? This and that. And I understand and I get it. I get that part. It's just like, baby, just go to the grocery store, get the food, whatever. You control that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got other things that I'm worried about.
She's showing you respect, and it's better that she comes to you. It's better that she comes to you than that she does not come to you.
Right.
Even though some days you're just like, oh God, just go get the groceries, whatever you want. But she wants to please you. She wants to know if you want me to make you steak, if you want me to make you my famous lasagna, babe, like she wants to also please you. If you're like, oh, you know what? I'm in the mood for those pretzels that I like, that you got me last time, and she's like, yes, when I come home from the grocery store, I get to say, look, babe, I got you your pretzels. Look, babe, I'm going to make you your lasagna this weekend. And it makes her feel good, like a little dog wagging its tail. Do you know what I mean? Because you gave her the answers to the test. You know what I mean? It's just like if you have children and your son comes to you for validation, you know what I mean? And you're like, I think you could handle putting the shower curtain up, let's just say. And you're there, the tension, the this, you show him, now do it. And he's like, but Dad, am I doing this okay? Am I doing this okay? Well, it might be frustrating for you, but they are letting you know that they need you, right? They need your information. And then with that, you little by little liberate them to make decisions by themselves. And then they're going to make the best decision because you're the source. You've been their source. So what happens is through their lifetime, they'll come to you for advice, or they'll come to their mom. You know what I mean? Like, Dad, what should I do? I have this job opportunity. Dad, I met a guy and I like him. I want you to talk, and you're always there. Your kids are not making decisions without, you knowing about it. They're, your son might be like, Dad, I want to get a motorcycle, and you're like, well, I don't know about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're included in their decisions. Even little things that they just call you like, hey, Dad, what's up? How are you? And they're looking for you because you're the source. They miss you. They need that. They need to come back and plug into you and get that energy, because you're their big fan, and when you have that, like when I go out into the world, I feel very confident amongst other women, Ron Uncut, because other women don't get to have the level of certainty that I get to live with, because my master and I discuss everything and it's in a contract, and it's a predictable life. I know what to expect, and so does he. So when I'm amongst women that are complaining about their husbands, I have nothing to complain about. I'm like happy as a pig in mud, because I have the dynamic that I want. But so I think it's always better if they come to you for questions, with questions, and you slowly build them up to, they could do this on their own occasionally, but it's better, and it's a compliment, and it's respectful for them to just come to you.
Right. Yeah, I really I appreciate it, because like that's how my wife is. Like, she always come to me for, like, I get to make the final decision on everything. You know what I'm saying? She respects my opinion, but it's vice versa, because I respect her opinion as well. It's like, if she make a suggestion about something, I do take it in consideration. You know what I'm saying? And I weigh the odds. I be like, okay, is my idea gonna be better or her idea? And I go with the best option. You know what I'm saying? But when I hear on a lot of spaces, like in this space, I hear a lot of men that say, well, it ain't about what my wife say. It ain't about what that. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna do them, do that. And they like, well, then you just got a body in your house. Like that ain't even your wife. Like, what is she, your slave, or what she is? That's how I look at that. So
yeah, well, those guys are just trying to be equal to you and what you have at home. They think that they're on your level, and they're not. They're far from it. A lot of times those guys want to play the role of a dominant, but they really are not a dominant. You can't play the role of a dominant. You either are, and you set up your life for you to be able to exercise your power and delegate, right? And share your power. That's a man who has that determination. That's his goal, is to set up his home. So he is the one in command. He's the king of his castle. He has his power. He doesn't have to relinquish it to anybody he's working for, or the woman that he provides, or the children that he created. So a lot of those guys, they think that's, hi, Big Mike. A lot of those men think that is a manifestation of them running their households, but that's chaos. That's chaos, because yes, if you have to make a decision for your family, you have a family meeting so you could hear your little kids' perspective or your children's perspective, and then you have a conversation with your wife. You hear what she has to say. If you want to hear the kids, you have a family meeting. You let the kids share their perspective. Then you, as the head of the household, you once again maybe bring your wife back into the conversation. And then you say, okay, babe, let me have a few hours to myself while I sort this out for us. But you empower your children and your wife to contribute to what influences you in making a decision, because you love them and you want the best for them, and you know that you're raising them, your children, and taking care of your wife in a way that they're able to exercise critical thinking. You're not limiting them. You're giving them tasks and you're putting them to work so that they could be deeper, more profound individuals. So the guy who's like, I control my wife and all that, you think that woman wants to learn anything from him?
No.
That woman is on her. Like, Stella got her groove back. You know, she's looking for an exit. She's just playing the part. You know, she's like, she'll go get takeout and put it in the pots to make it look like she cooked, and he falls for it because he's a sucker.
Right. Well, I wanna say something. 'Cause I gotta get ready to go, but I want to say this to these men out here. Listen, man. Listen, man. Y'all gotta be some men. At the end of the day, y'all gotta stand up and be men. Y'all women shouldn't be out here pumping gas, cutting grass, doing all that masculine shit. She shouldn't be out here fixing on cars, fixing flat tires and all that. Get up and be a man. Get off your ass. Get out that PlayStation 5 and go outside and do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Your wife or your girlfriend, like my wife, she don't touch no trash. She don't take no trash out. She don't pump no gas. Now, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got no grass out here to cut, so she ain't got to cut grass. But if we did, I cut that. I fix all the stuff that go break down in the house, whatever go on. I do that.
Right.
She got to make sure our daughter's straight and make sure we got food on the table. I go and buy the food, shit like that, whatever. I give her the money for that, whatever. But at the same time, that's the problem that I see a lot of times in these spaces. And that's why the roles are reversed, because a lot of men are lazy. They real fucking lazy.
Yes.
And they depending on women to do so much shit. And the only thing they feel like they can bring to the table is money. Well, I'm bringing in $100,000. Well, fuck that. What else is you doing? Is you doing anything else? You know what I'm saying? To help contribute. Now, my whole perspective on a wife, I don't look for my wife to, she got to cook, clean, wash, take care of the child, wash clothes. Then you talking about fucking and sucking me, and I'm just sitting back laid back. That's a lot of work on a woman. You see what I'm saying? Now I can help wash dishes sometimes. I can help cook sometimes. It's contributing. You see what I'm saying? If my wife tired today, she don't feel like cooking. Hell, I know how to cook. Let me go cook something.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's a balance. And a lot of men in these spaces don't believe in balance. They believe in, well, I'm the masculine, I'm the man, I'm alpha, and it's my way or the highway. It don't work like that. That's why shit's so backwards. And that's all I gotta say on it.
Thank you, Ron Uncut. You sound like you have a beautiful family. So God bless your family, and just continue to be available to your lady and to your daughter, and just be that example, and to take care of them. And yes, when you see that your lady is overwhelmed, or she's just having her lady days, and you can tell she just needs to rest, and you need to take care of her, because that's your responsibility. Her health and well-being is also your responsibility. That you could say, you know what, honey, don't worry, I got our girl. I'm gonna take her to the park, and then I'm gonna go to the market, and we're gonna do grocery shopping, and you relax. And when you're out with your girl, you tell her, mommy's not feeling well. We're gonna take care of her. We're gonna surprise her. Want to get mommy a card? And you're doing that, and you come home and you praise your lady in front of your daughter, and you and your daughter cook her dinner or whatever, just having a moment of celebrating her, because she holds it down in the way that demonstrates respect for you amongst other people, your family and friends. So it's good that you notice that there's times that she does need that, because of everything that she does do gracefully, and that you're able to know that that doesn't take away from who you are, that adds to who you are, that adds more value to how you run your household, that you're able to provide a proper, safe environment for when she's not feeling healthy and she just needs a little mental health rest, You're not putting more on her, you know, and that you show your daughter that it's all healthy, it's all good, you know. This is the way we take care of each other. This is the way that you know, mom and dad take care of each other, and we take care of you. We love, you know what I mean? It just sets something so strong that a lot of kids don't get to see or emulate, you know, because people don't want to accept their role in the relationship. But I'm happy
Right.
that that's the case for you. You know, that's beautiful. So you'll be, you know, you'll be living a beyond blessed life in comparison to a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Well, I do appreciate the conversation. I thank y'all for having me. Thank you, World Class. I appreciate the show. Lexie, you doing a great job. Thank you. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I'm gonna be back in the chat. Thank y'all for
All
having me
right,
though.
sweetie. You have a wonderful evening. Be safe
All
and
right.
take care.
All right.
All right, Mr. Webb. Thank you. You said you appreciate my energy. And here you ask a few more questions. Let's see. You asked, okay, me, 46, no children, single, experience with both male and female relationships. You consider yourself to be a submissive to your master who has a clear plan for his life. Yes, that is the ideal for me. So I don't know how long I've been. Oh, this is my 4th episode doing this on World Class Channel. And the reason I wanted to do this channel is because I think that sometimes people are in relationships and they don't have clear definitions or clear boundaries, and perhaps they don't even know how to create that. So let me see, here's my book. So I like to give them information. This is one of the best books, I think. It's a classic for being able to begin learning about submission and slavehood and erotic and BDSM. So I wanted to bring that component to the viewers in a way for them perhaps to define their relationships and have a better interaction with their partner. How do I feel my channel will build my viewers? I mean, I want to attract mostly probably people. I probably will end up attracting a lot of people in the BDSM community because those are the fundamentals by which I live my life. So if it's right now, perhaps the chat is total vanilla with a few people who have some kinks and have experienced some things. But I really look forward to bringing people who are fully immersed in the lifestyle like me to share their perspective and let you know the reality of this and how it works and how it's one of those just even like almost like a secret society on some level, because there are clubs that cater to people who want to live this way. Anything else? Any other questions? Am I a reader? Yeah, I do love to read. Most let me see, right now, I mean, I like to read murder mysteries, but I also enjoy reading a lot about BDSM. So this is one of the books, like I said, that I recommend and I enjoy reading. But I am a reader. I do study, and I love studying human behavior. So I like things that have to do with like murder mysteries and narcissists and sociopaths and women and men enjoying the dark side of life. Thank you, Mr. Webb. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's super awesome. I mean, I really want everyone to, you know, support the channel. Bring your questions to us in private if you don't want to bring them out here. And start exploring this. You know, do little research online. Read some of the erotic stories and see what kinds of things turn you on, and bring it into your real life in a healthy way. To explore that dynamic, and you know, and if you, especially if you are requesting monogamy from your man, you should really be interested in what his fantasies are, so that you can make those bad boys come true often. so that he doesn't have to go get it somewhere else. Because even though you don't know about it, if he has access, he will exercise his right.
Right.
There's a way to justify it, ladies. So, try to give him what he wants as often as you can, especially if he's really giving you the promise of monogamy.
All right. I think that's going to do it this week.
I think
Go
so.
ahead, Aria.
Well, I think we got them going. We got them going.
Some good decision, good questions in.
We definitely did. I think I love Dallas D. Oh my God, Dallas D, you're fun. I love it because when you as a woman are brave enough to explore your fantasies with your lover, it just is so fun. It's just so fun when you don't have to like always be good or always be traditional, and you just have a fantasy and you live it out. And as a woman, you want to submit more to that man because he just lets you be yourself completely. Respectfully and with boundaries, but you just really get to just be yourself. Thank you, Big Mic Drop. I appreciate you. You and your lovely wife. I would love if it's okay with you, perhaps one of these times your lovely wife could join us and share a little bit about the dynamic of what works in your house, in your home. Might not be to the extreme of BDSM, but for me, it feels like you have a fundamental base that a woman could see when you interact with a woman like your wife, even if it's in the chat, you just could tell. You know what I mean, Noble? You could just feel it when a woman is living that way because she has a sweetness, a freedom about herself. She's just exudes joy, because she gets to live a joyous life. So I don't know, KDH. We're on the fourth one. We have, we are seeing how well it's going. So we have a lot more that we want to bring forward. Like I would love to, find people in the lifestyle to come and join and speak about their experience. I think that's the next level of creating those networking that way, so that everyone is not just exposed to my experience; they're exposed to other people, along with not just BDSM people, but also people who have kind of this type of dynamic in their home and they run successful homes. So thank you, Big Mic Drop. I appreciate you asking and letting her do that with us. That means a lot to me.
All right. Definitely appreciate y'all watching. If y'all on the replay, leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know a couple of things that you learned, a couple of things that you liked, what you've been trying, what you enjoyed. Please share, subscribe. We're trying to get to that 1,000 mark, man. That 1,000 mark would be great. Like I said, the Gmail, Lexie's Gmail is right here for consultations, private consultations. Got merchant stuff coming that we're thinking about doing and designing and stuff. So we got a lot of work, man. Crazy, but what LaShawn LaCoy say? Crazy work. We got crazy work coming. So yeah, man, that's gonna conclude this week's episode. Thank you, Lexie, so much. You've been awesome. Appreciate you, all the help.
Thank you, Noble, for providing this platform, and for everybody in the chat, and for Ron Uncut for coming up. And I'm so happy for him. He has a successful household. That's like a church. When you have a successful household, that's your space, because there lives God. God doesn't live in the church down the street. God lives in your home, in the church you've created, in the sanctity of your home. So it's good to know that a lot of men are living that experience and providing their women the privilege of having kind of life along with your kids. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Lady Novoa, to all the people monitoring, all the people contributing, all the funny statements. Sporties was hilarious.
That's what he was doing.
You know, he knows what it is. Other than that, I want to wish everybody a fantastic weekend, a happy Sunday, and you know what? Appreciate the ones in your life that you love. You know, hug them, kiss them, and celebrate your life, especially if you're living a beyond blessed one. Make sure you take the time out to also, as a male, give yourself credit for the creation and what you've done. Because it's not possible without having the right men in the right place at the right time.
Definitely.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Don't want to miss it. We got the lovely Savannah, who's actually been helping out in the stream, been modding. Her show is tomorrow at is it 11 Eastern, 10 Central. I think that's 9, maybe 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Pacific. Yeah. In the morning.
8 a.m. 8 a.m. 11. Yeah, 8 a.m.
Yeah, 8 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, early bird. Yeah, man, you're gonna want to see it. It's
I love the thumbnail is hilarious. The chameleon with the wig.
Yes, yeah. Y'all about to be the real Savannah in the morning. My young apprentice. So yeah, definitely check us out in the AM. Got a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of videos coming out. Chopping up these lives, man, and make them short and condensed. So we got a lot of videos coming out. So appreciate it. You know what I say, man? Ain't but 2 classes on this planet, never been 3. You world class or you outclass, and the question is not which class you want to live in. The question is which class are the ones coming behind you deserve for you to die in. On your feet, on your knees, respect the craft. Nope.